Dear fellow Singaporeans and voters of Marymount SMC, my name is Dr. Ang Yong Guan. I am the candidate from Progress Singapore Party, contesting in Marymount SMC. When PM Lee took over as Prime Minister in 2004, he promised to build an inclusive nation. In the 16 years he has been Prime Minister, the nation is far from being inclusive. It has become exclusive. An exclusive club of natural aristocrats, group thinkers, yes men, conformists, and insiders who toe the line to perpetuate their own positions and interests. We have become a nation of them versus us. Little effort is made to connect, engage, and embrace the us in a genuine way other than photo ops. The us who think and act differently from them. The nation lacks the spirit, the innovative spirit, the dearth of creativity, the absence of the fighting spirit in our people. Our citizens have become more fearful, submissive, and uninspired. Why has the nation faltered so much in the last 1 decade? The apology by PM Lee in GE 2011 was short-lived. Lessons learned were quickly forgotten. In GE 2015, the PAP saw its mandate return to 70%, partly due to the transfer of gratitude from the late father to his son. The voters made a big mistake. Soon after the last GE, the PAP government rewarded the voters with arrogance and relentless series of fee hikes, higher levies, charges, transportation fees, education fees, utilities tariffs, etc. And huge increase in foreign PMETs, causing a great stress and competition to our own PMETs. Many of our own PMETs were replaced and ended up as Grab drivers. We see the return of the elitist governance without experience and expertise from the competitive private sector. Limited, untested, non-competitive experiences from the civil service, army, and public sector. The former Prime Minister Goh Chok Tong spoke about the need to get talent from the private sector to avoid groupthink in 2017. Complacent and domineering, they could only engage the citizens in superficial ways and the few opposition MPs in petty bullying in Parliament. Trust erodes steadily. Instead of practicing rule of law, it has become rule by law. Witness the change of the constitution to bring in a Malay elected president on the weak and perhaps unfounded argument that the country needed a non-Chinese president. What amazed many Singaporeans is that at the same time, they say the country is not ready for a non-Chinese prime minister from their same party. Are they logical anymore? Another example is the enactment of POFMA and bestowing immense power in the hands of political office holders, the ministers, who would determine if a piece of news is fake or otherwise. The recent announcement of getting permanent secretaries to enforce and police POFMA is dragging the supposedly neutral civil servant into the political arena. Once again, Singaporeans watch helplessly as POFMA was enforced. When an elitist government relies on laws rather than meaningful engagements to whip the population into submissiveness, it makes us wonder how competent and secure it is, especially considering it has a handsome mandate and occupies more than 90% of parliamentary seats. This lack of competency is confirmed by the handling of the COVID-19 crisis. As a doctor, I strongly disagree to allow to have an election in the midst of a global pandemic, running the risk of exposing many of our aged, sick, and weak citizens to grave and preventable danger of being infected with the COVID-19 virus. The risk of a likelihood of a second wave has increased. The government's role is to protect, care, and nurture its citizens, and not subject them to grave danger. Do you think they really care about your health and your life? Or are they obsessed with seeking a fresh mandate? When the Prime Minister himself failed to engage his own younger siblings and resorted to bring a family matter to Parliament without the presence of his younger siblings, it makes us wonder about his ability to engage the population. Without this ability to engage, how does one expect trust and mutual respect to develop? No wonder exhortations like "trust us to bring you to a brighter future," delivered during his COVID-19 talk, must elicit a "are you sure?" or, as the Hokkien will say, "chun bo." Mutual trust is nurtured through leaders who constantly engage their citizens in a compassionate and empathetic way. The post-COVID-19 Singapore requires a major rethink. Professor Tommy Koh, our eminent law professor and former diplomat, said in a video that has since gone viral that leaders must be fighters and builders and must have new skill sets to reinvent the Singapore success story. We need bolder and more divergent thinking. It can no longer be a one-size-fits-all or more of the same or the same yes-man approach. Early leaders let us hear. Current leaders have run out of ideas and are leading us down the slope. Values are compromised or absent. There are no clear and new narratives. We are getting more of the same motherhood statements constantly. I feel that economic growth must be matched by investment in our people's independent thinking process, risk-taking culture, and relevant dynamic skills in a fast-moving global economic environment. At the same time, we need to take care of the less competitive and less successful Singaporeans with a strong social safety net. Singaporeans already work the longest hours in the world. And what has the government done to improve the quality of life? Why are parents afraid of having more babies? Our fertility rate is one of the lowest in the world. Certainly, after years of talk and half-hearted measures, this DFR issue has not been resolved, but in fact has worsened. Does this current PAP government want the people to work even longer hours and at the same time hope that they can produce more babies? Are they delusional and totally not connected with their citizens? For the sake of our children and grandchildren, we must act to safeguard their interests. One day, they would say to us, "Daddy and Mommy, who did you vote for in GE 2020? I hope we can proudly say to them, I casted my precious vote, and together with other like-minded and brave Singaporeans, we voted PSP with other alternative political parties, denying the PAP its two-third majority, thus reversing the uncaring, elitist, and wrong direction they were heading. You deserve better. On 10 July, when you are at the polling booth, vote wisely. Vote PSP. Thank you very much.